One mistake that I have repeatedly made in my life is rushing into connections. Doesn't matter what kind of connection, could be any sort of exchange. And yeah, it's been a mistake. And I've learned from that the hard way. And I'm someone that sometimes needs to learn the hard way, but we're kind of trying to change that narrative for my life. I think I shared on my story recently a little post on an experience I had with a friend that was trying to destiny swap, or whatever we're calling it these days, with me. And once I realized, it was actually really scary, because of the kind of person that I am, because I'm a mystic or healer or whatever, and the mahi that I do, and just who I am personally, my reflection to other people, or what I reveal to others through them looking at me or connecting with me in exchange, is like quite intense, and I completely understand that. But it's made me, I wouldn't say be fearful of connecting. I'm not afraid to love or be loved, and that's something that I affirm over myself all the time. But it can be quite sad when repeatedly as a mystic, repeatedly as a queer, African, black, dark-skinned femme, whether in the diaspora or not, like, to continuously encounter this sort of energy. And something I'm realizing as I've been moving within the activist kaupapa, and learning and observing, is just how, like, the more and more I learn, the more I'm realizing, whoa, these systems and empires, yes, I already know this in theory, that they're built on anti-indigeneity and anti-blackness and anti-Africanness, but the more that I'm experiencing it, yeah, like, you start to see it in everything, and I'm seeing it in connections, I'm seeing it in people being uncomfortable with me being myself, uncomfortable with me expressing myself, being wealthy, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. You know, as African people, we are inherently wealthy, and I think some of the wealthiest people on this earth, because we are reflected by and within our whenua, right, and our resources. So if the whenua is wealthy, then that's us. That's like, when I think of Maori and calling themselves tangata whenua, it's like people of the land. You are the land, it's not separate. And so realizing this in my core is like, holy shit, a little bit. And really accepting that I am abundant in all the ways, but also that people's response to that is gonna be weird, and that sometimes people act really possessed. And when I say that, I mean possessed by the spirit of, I don't know, like, our conditioning. And you can be from anywhere and be have this white mentality, or be moving within this oppression, sickness, or pollution of our white or our spirit. And it's really sad. I feel like it's been like discovering this and discovering that time and time again when I connect, and just let my guard down a little bit, that I kind of get the same response and, well, the same projections. And I'm still trying to keep my heart open and light and trust in source, that I will find my people. And I'm very grateful because I have a partner, and I can tell him anything and he gets it, so that's awesome. But sometimes, like, I don't think that your partner or your lover or whatever is the only, like, we should have community, right? It's not, you shouldn't just have one person that you can connect with and genuinely trust. And I'm at this point in my journey where I'm very comfortable on my own, and I don't feel like I'm on my own. I feel like I'm with my ancestors all the time, so I'm sweet. But it's a very lonely journey being a mystic. It's a very lonely journey following your uri, your spiritual path, like authentically, because people will say that they're doing it, but they ain't. And then when they see you doing it, they're like, oh my God, why are you doing that? And like, want to be friends with you, want to be in connection with you, want to be in relationship with you, platonically, romantically, in work environments, creative environments, whatever. But it's to siphon your energy. Like, I'm finding it time and time again. And, you know, that's why I have such strong boundaries. And people think I'm cold, but I'm at this point, like, I don't give a fuck. You know, I read energy very quickly now because of the mistakes that I have made or the lack of listening to my intuition. Also, why I got these tattoos. Got Nyamijira on my right ear and Krapa on my left for protection of my hearing, because I literally felt like I was a bit like spiritually lacking in the hearing before this. Like, yeah, I feel like my ancestors would tell me things time and time again and like give me signs, but I wasn't picking them up, or I just was like ignoring them. And it wasn't even intentional. Like, it was a weird thing. But it baffles me how much we can be like maybe spiritually mute, you know. So yeah, I hope that this is encouraging to someone to, you know, really trust yourself, trust the little inklings you get, the things that you see repeated, the signs that you get. Also, we can just ask our ancestors to give us signs in particular ways, and that will actually reveal whatever it is. Like, I might ask my ancestors, can you show me it tomorrow when I go and spend time with this person, this thing that I'm feeling, and they'll confirm it. Yeah, something else I also really find, which I know people don't like me talking about, but I'm going to talk about it because that's what I'm here for. Being an abundant person, being African, you know, it irks people that we're abundant. It irks people. Like, people want you to be like, feel shit about yourself, or feel like a bum, or feel like, you know, like, and I just don't feel like that. I've worked so hard to get to this point in my life where I believe in myself, where I believe I'm beautiful, where I believe I'm worthy of love, joy, peace, and abundance from the inside, spiritually first, and that permeates out. And I just see constantly like, oh, people always think that, like, you think that you're better than others, and it's not that. It's really not that. It's actually just like, I don't know, just being in my authentic self, being an authentic self as African, Black, whānau, and particularly as dark skin, which I want to keep saying because I've experienced this kind of thing from light skinned people, from mixed folk, and that's why it doesn't resonate with me when people try to deny their full heritage. Like, you can't just be saying that you're a certain race when you're a bunch of different things, because you're only focusing on the what you want to focus on, and avoiding and ignoring the fact that you could be European, the fact that you could be from somewhere else as well. You know, it's all part of the story. Maybe I don't understand that because I'm someone that I'm West African through and through. I don't really have any other ancestry. Yeah, but as someone that holds space for people time and time again, through readings, through workshops, through shared space, it keeps coming up, fam, and I'm sorry, but like, you can't keep ignoring it anymore. It's actually really dangerous. Like, it's really dangerous, especially if you're all saying that you are here for Black whānau, that you're here for African whānau, that you're here for the kaupapa and all of that stuff. You know, let's be real. Like, that we, like, some of you hate us, and hating. One thing I'm realizing about hate is there's a fine line between love and hate, and I never understood that before, and now I get it. You know, like, if you're indifferent to someone, like, if you just don't care about someone, don't think about someone, that's not hating. Hating is when hating could be you want to spend time with this person to siphon their energy, and oppress them, and also be like them, also sit at their table and eat of the abundance emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, but you also don't want them to be greater than you. You, like, you know, and I'm noticing this heaps, and it's people that I kept having around me, and in the last like month, sources just cleared the fuck. I literally feel like I'm back to having no friends. I feel like I have one friend that I can trust, like, and with others I just don't feel, yeah, I don't feel like I have a place to lay my head, to actually be 100% open and authentic and safe, and that's really sad. Also, oh, I was going to apologize for looking tired, but nah, fuck that. The world is in a really intense state right now, so if I look tired, that's okay, right? And also, I'm in the middle of doing some thrift organizing, and we don't always have to look put together. It's okay for us to be tired sometimes, as well, which I keep saying to myself and to others. Yeah, and I just am like quite disappointed at us as a collective at how we are so constantly in competition with each other, like whether it be our whānau, whether it be chosen family, it doesn't matter. Like, we're constantly projecting out this competition, and I one thing for me is that, like, I think I went through an experience with a friend like years ago, and I was like, noted that I was moving in jealousy, and I didn't actually realize I was doing it. I think I've spoken about this before. But once I noted it, I was like, ooh, don't do that. Like, at least, like, my ancestors were like, just like, look at them as an inspiration. Like, you should be grateful that you have them next to you. And then I switched my energy and I helped them out. Like, I would ask them questions. I would, yeah, help them with their mahi, offer my service, just doing like basic shit. Like, why do we constantly choose to oppress our neighbor when we can choose to support? Like, I don't get it. It's really irresponsible and it's gross. And a lot of us are in the movements and the kaupapa, but don't want to do the internal mahi. That's hard. We just want to like act on social media that we've got our shit together. And then when it's your friend, like, or the person that you're in relationship with, or an intimacy, supposed to be an intimacy with, we are like doing the thing that we're preaching that we're not doing. Like, I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm honestly at this point where I'd rather be alone. I'd rather have one friend than fuck with people. And that's a sad, and I'm reflecting on that as well. That's a sad place to be, and still working on healing myself, after coming out of that fuckery. And also understanding that sometimes when you're a mystic or a prophet as well, you are maybe like 10 steps ahead of people because you're a pioneer, you're a visionary, and you're carrying the legacy on behalf of those to come to pave a new way. And so it's quite a lonely path. But I don't know. I don't know about it being lonely. I don't know if I actually feel lonely anymore. Maybe I seem alone, but I'm really not actually. I have many spirits around me. And I trust that as time progresses and goes, that there will be more people that I can actually trust to have by my side. But for now, I'm not going to lie, I don't trust no motherfucker out here. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth of how I feel, and that's okay. One thing I also wanted to add to this was like, in the Western society world, particularly because that's where I am based at the moment, we love everything to be sweet and sugar coated, and we don't like bitterness, you know. And something like Kaya Korongoa, who I love dearly, Joanne Hakarai, said to me years ago, that always sticks with me now, because I have a sweet tooth, which has died down a little bit as I've continued through my just journey of life, is like, there's the shake, is it called witty? Like, that moves through your body when the medicine, the bitterness of the medicine, the rongoa is passing through you, and it's like, it's kind of gross. Like, it feels gross to me, fam. Like, I always like joke about how I'm a herbalist that doesn't actually like tea. I'm like, give me that colonial English tea with the sugar and the milk any day over fucking, well, I don't know, some bitter ass thing. Anyway, And that's being real, I think. Let's not pretend sometimes that we're like, yummy. You know, I mean, she was also saying that over time you get used to the bitterness, as I think as you surrender. And so now, like over maybe a couple years, some rako, some plants, some rongoa that I drink doesn't taste as bitter as it would have like 3 or 4 years ago, which is like, oh, I've made progress. Yeah, but in the Western world, we want everything sugar coated, and I'm not even talking about tea. I'm talking about general life shit. We always want things to be sweet or sound like, you can't say this to me this way because it doesn't sound nice. Like, but what you're doing is not nice, so why would I say it to you nicely, you know? And I feel like in the collective I've seen lots of mystics and stuff and healers and blah 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 talk about how it's really the time for us to stand up for ourselves, say things like it is. And it doesn't mean you have to be like overexpend your energy, but it's okay for us to defend ourselves. And I feel like even in the collective, within this revolution, like there's a lot of talk amongst us about how we're sick of, you know, meeting violence with turning the other cheek, like being on that respect to Martin Luther King, but being on that Martin Luther King-ish instead of on that Malcolm X buzz. If you know, you know, you should know, you know, and I think it's time for us to, what was I saying to someone? I was like, it's not violence, it's not really violence to meet our oppressor like this. When we're going like this, we can, you're supposed to fight back, otherwise what happens? You die, like literally your soul dies, your spirit dies, you get sick, like. And I think that that's what colonialism has taught us, is to not fight back against the oppressor and just to accept things and to not question things, especially you know, for me, coming out of a heavily indoctrinated past, like 21 years of like the wildest Christianity of my life, the wildest, whitest Christianity. And I don't believe being Christian is bad at all. I'm actually at a point in my journey where I really love Jesus, and I'm not Christian, but I have respect for the prophet, and that I found that respect at rallies and connecting with Palestinian community, because for me rallies, the hikoi that we do every week, is my church, and makes so much more sense than going to a building to pray and talk about things that are not true. But that'll be another video. When I'm ready to piss people off. When I'm ready to piss people off even more. There's also something that I'm like trying to surrender to, is that part of the mahi that I do is really gonna piss people off, and it can be quite scary because you do have to protect yourself out here, and it's a lot of protection, fam, like to be in this seat. It's not a joke. Like, literally costs you, like, can cost you your life, you know. And we see that through like activists being killed, you know, activist poets. They're all seers and mystics, and so I forget where I was going with this. Oh yes, I was talking about bitterness and sweetness. Yeah, if someone tells you something about yourself or about a situation and it's bitter, it doesn't mean it's not true. We love to act like, oh, that's not true because you're not saying it in a nice way, or not everything needs to be said in a nice way. And also, the truth is like, can be bitter as, fam. Like, look at the state of the world. How am I going to sweetly tell you that thousands and thousands and thousands of people were massacred in Sudan the other day? How am I going to make that sound nice? Like, it's not. It's not. And people want like us to like pour honey on it when the shit ain't honey. you know, it's blood and evil. It's evil. And sometimes each of us, we're moving within deceit and greed and malice and ill intention and evil and trying to oppress our neighbor. And we need to be real about it. We need to hold ourselves accountable. It's the time to, because otherwise, at the end of the day, we're just going to make ourselves sick. And we see that through, like, even our own fun or our own parents or friends that age and get older. You see people literally physically get sick, and this is a symptom of the pollution or the oppression that is like the is toxic. And a wider way will starts with the spirit first and then goes into it's the mind and the emotions, and then it ends up being in the physical, you know. So I will leave that at there because that's a lot. But I'm doing my best to listen to my ancestors, and so I've got these markings. Honestly, fam, when I wasn't listening to my ancestors, I got my first ear infection. My left ear was like infected, like from not listening, which is an example of the spiritual meeting the physical. And I've never had an ear infection in my life, not even when I was little. I didn't even know I had an ear infection because I was like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, your spiritual symptoms will leak out into the physical. So yes, fam, listen in. I'm trying to do my best to listen in and stay grounded, look after myself. It's not easy. As you can see, I'm tired. Look at my eyes, fam. um, but it's okay to be tired. It's okay to show up tired. We don't have to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect because, like, shit is tiring, and it's fine. And we can still love ourselves and each other through. But another question that I wanted to remind us to ask ourselves, and that I've been asking myself, is like, am I a safe person to be in relationship with? And also, is this person a safe person to be in relationship with? Sometimes that comes through listening to your body, like how your physical body is feeling is a great way, if you can't tell, because sometimes we ignore our physical body so much. And someone that's gone through a lot of trauma, one of my like main tools of coping was dissociating, right? So I didn't feel pain. And I'm sure you can resonate with this, especially Indigenous, Black, African, whānau. Sometimes our pain tolerance is really high, and that's okay. We are strong because we've been through lots of shit. Like, our ancestors have been through a lot, and I think it's a great quality to have as strength. But I'm more so focusing on the strength of my heart rather than the strength of like trying to be like, yeah, I can take this, because like at the end of the day, again, that's just gonna make me sick. And I'm not trying to be sick when I'm old, fam. I want to be chilling. And I want my like I don't know, like the next generation, like I was gonna say children if I have them, or like, for me, having children is not necessarily about being able to give birth myself. It's about who I might mentor, who I will hold space with. That's of the younger generation. And I'm like, I just want us to like heal ourselves and not kill humanity off, you know. Because that's what's going to happen. Humanity will just be killed off and Earth will still be here. I think like people, it's funny, still in Kōrero I see people being like, the earth, but you know, the earth has been here for so long in different forms, and if they need to regenerate themselves to kill us off, they will. If we're being a poison to the earth will just kill us, and then and clear us out, and then be like, I'm all good now, you know, like, and do we really need that to happen? No, like, so, you know, and it starts with us, it starts with you, it starts with me, and focusing on our heart and what we need to heal. And yeah, it's not easy, fam, it's not easy, mahi, but we can do it together if we're honest, if we hold ourselves with integrity, if we hold ourselves accountable. So there's a lot of hard work to do. But the hard work brings the treats, and also smart work. We don't always have to struggle either. And that's why I also wanted to affirm it's okay to be tired, because like, and it's okay to rest. Like, you don't have to like be fucking going at it like so hard all the time. You can just go take a nap, can just go sit outside in the sun, or go for a swim, or watch something that's funny, or take a couple days off thinking about things, because blatantly with the state of the world, shit's not ending tomorrow. So like, you know. And I also wanted to ask, like, if you are competing with someone around you or whatever, like, why? Like, what is it about them that you want? Is that a reflection of something that you can have? How can you get there? What movements and efforts do you need to make in your own life? What actions do you need to take? What discipline do you need to act on to get the treats, to get the pleasure that you want, the satisfaction, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically? And also, a big one is, how do you project your envy, jealousy? And I also want to say lack of gratitude. So maybe some of us are projecting a lack of gratitude and need to figure out why we do this, where it's coming from. And, you know, just grab a pen. This is a felt tip, but I love journaling in colors because it makes it funner than a boring pen. So like journaling and writing down, like free writing was a really good tool, which I need to get back into. It's like not overthinking what you're gonna write and just writing, like seeing what comes out, because then it lets the heart flow out without your mind getting in the way. Okay, I'm actually done now.